Good afternoon. It's Ann Miller French with Angelic Hands. I am streaming live here on my Facebook page as well as on my channel for YouTube for Angelic Hands. So, hello and welcome. If you are just joining me today, if you want to let me know, who's coming in, who's joining the live, always great to see you. And if you don't catch my lives, the replay is always available on either platform. And today's segment is called "I Love You to the Moon and Back," and that thought literally just popped into my head right before I went on. I like to give my lives a title, and it's also required. When you're naming it and putting in the information, and holy cow, there's so much to be said about that. I wanted to share some personal revelations that I had, even regarding my own ascension journey, and see if that resonates with any of you, and whatever it is that you're going through. So, first and foremost, for anyone that's not familiar with me, again, my name is Ann Miller French. I am the owner and founder of Angelic Hands. My practice was started back in early 2016. So, 6 years in practice, extremely grateful for just this beautiful and very unique journey that I've been on, and all the things that I've learned along the way, the things that I'm still learning, all the amazing people that I've been able to connect with. And I am just, I'm so grateful for that, and so grateful for all of you and all of my amazing clients that I've worked with over the years. So I work with different modalities. I am a quantum life coach, so I do life coaching. I'm also a naturally gifted psychic, medium, and intuitive. So I offer readings, and I work with different energy healing modalities: Reiki therapy, light language healing, and quantum energy healing. If you're not familiar with any of those, I invite you to take a look at my website, which is ReikiAngeliChands.com. The information will be in the link of the description for today's live broadcast. So, again, if you're just joining me, if you want to let me know, where you're coming in from, always nice to see who's hopping on. So much going on in my world. Holy cow. I really felt like something inside of me did like a huge flip. Like, Mother Earth is changing. So as Mother Earth is continuing to change, all of, everyone that lives here is also going through changes, and sometimes those changes are subtle, sometimes they're big. And there were things that were literally coming up for me, physically, emotionally, mentally, you name it. I was going through it, and I'm so grateful that I have so many tools available in my toolbox, that I was able to pull out and use for different things that I was experiencing. So, as I had shared in some of my previous posts, this past weekend, my husband and I, we drove up north to the upper part of Michigan, for my grandmother's funeral. It was a beautiful send off for her. All the family members that were able to make it, that were able to be there. It was nice to just make that connection. I saw, of course, a lot of familiar faces. Met some relatives that I, either had met for the very first time or hadn't been able to connect with them in quite a long time. So I'm just immensely grateful for that time spent, and for the love and support with my husband being there during that time. It's a long drive. So it took us, with all the stops and everything, it was about, 8 hours just one way. So it's a bit of a haul, but totally worth it. Was just super, super grateful to be there, and, to to honor my grandmother's legacy, and she left behind, so many amazing memories, so many amazing gifts to each and every one of us, and I am grateful to be, her granddaughter and all the different things that I learned from her over the years and to hear the stories that were shared. Part of that experience, and I noticed that this time it was a little bit different as it was coming up. I was present for my inner child, my little girl inside, and really felt that anxiousness and anxiety kind of feeling. If you ever felt that, before going into a funeral home, you don't know what to expect. And just really holding space for her. And like I said, I'm grateful that my husband was there, surrounded by, loved ones, by family members, but there was definitely some processing and some dialogue that I had to have, with myself for what was coming up. And it had been there for quite some time based on, different losses that I've experienced over the years of loved ones, friends, you name it. And just really working through that whole cycle, and even just going through the grieving process, and just you know allowing it to come up and being present instead of tuning out, numbing out. And I was there. um being a medium, I'm grateful that, I was able to, I mean, my grandmother was there at her funeral, and I could see her as I was talking to other relatives. I saw her there with my grandfather, her uh, friend that was there he had also passed earlier. My dad was there, and her parents were there, and so that they're my great grandparents, and just a lot of other relatives, some her sisters were there, and it was just like this huge reunion. So not only the physical presence, but also the presence of, the different souls of those family members. They were also there, and it was just absolutely a beautiful, beautiful experience to be there and be a part of that. Gosh, what else? So, yeah, I mean, Friday, that was a full moon. There's more stuff that was coming up. We were making that drive to Michigan. Saturday was a funeral. Sunday, we were making our journey back. And I really felt like I had like hit a wall. I mean, I just felt so literally, a little bit burnt out, and just, from the long drive, all the emotions coming up. So I took some time with that between Sunday and then the majority of yesterday, just to, do some grief release work, additional self care. It's an act of self love, and took time to, excuse me, to process, what was coming through, what was coming up. And as I have mentioned, and this is a big part of my coaching process, is the mirrors, like mirror work. And, when I talk about how everyone outside of us is a mirror reflecting a mirror reflecting something back. And there was a huge revelation that came up for me. And I believe it was just, a mix of, the full moon energies, the grief process, some body talk, body work that I was doing, as well as, being on that precipice and being in the start of the whole start. At least here in Wisconsin, it's the the start of spring. So all those energies, all those things coming up, and being on my next leg of the ascension journey. And I discovered another piece of me and welcomed her home. And that's really going to be the foundation of today's discussion, today's talk. And This is me really stepping up to the plate and following where my heart and soul are guiding me at this time, and doing things differently, and um, really sharing my life experiences and these revelations as they come through, and with my intention that it may help someone else out there that may be going through something. So, what I'm talking about is my own vulnerability, being transparent, and I literally saw myself. There was this fractal part of me that had been so, disconnected for so long, and I welcomed her home. And this has a lot to do with the journey that I've been on for a good part of my life, and that was being able to look in front of the mirror and look in the mirror and love. I feel emotions coming up from this. Love the reflection, love, all of me. And those were the words that came through today is I love you to the moon and back. And just standing in front of the mirror, looking from head to toe, all of me, loving all of me, accepting all of me, all of who I've been, everything that I've ever done, any experience that I've ever had, and accepting all of me, both the light aspects and the dark aspects, bringing all parts of me together. And with my role and mission here to hold space for others, whether a client is coming in for energy healing or for life coaching or a workshop or for reading, it's literally all the same. I'm holding space and I'm helping another person to help them find their missing pieces, bring home those missing pieces. Like I always talk about, if you look at a puzzle frame, you have that puzzle frame that is you. And where are those missing pieces? If you actually truly, truly take a look at what's missing, and anytime you've had a trauma, anytime you've been shamed or felt humiliated or judged, or you went through a surgery, or you went through a traumatic loss, or whatever it is, whatever part or parts checked out, want to bring them home. And for me, the part that was there was the part of me that where I distinctly remember that time in my life where I had such um I had a very low self-esteem. I was very judgmental of my body. I was very judgmental of my looks. I did not love the way I looked. I couldn't stand in front of a mirror without feeling disgusted. I had many eating disorders for many, many years, and there were things that went deep. I mean, deep, 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 where there was little to no self-love. And big part of this journey is coming home to self. And when I talk about love the skin you're in, smile, it looks good on you. Coming home to you and falling in love with you, all of you. And it's a journey. It's going through those layers. It's having that courage to face your fears and look at any part of you that you've been running away from. And it's all coming to the forefront. All these things are coming up through, like I talked about the mirrors. So if you're ever in judgment of another person, or you're triggered by someone, that's literally, an indicator that, hey, some part of you is trying to get your attention. Something's not healed, or where are you in judgment of yourself? Perhaps you may have done this action, or um, to yourself or to another person, or why is there a judgment, like going into it, digging deeper. And where are you still in judgment of yourself? Is it your body? Is it you know because you still don't have the things that you're thinking about, that you're desiring? It's going in and looking at what's there's a part of you that's 95% of the time running on autopilot, that's sending out these messages like a broadcast, like a tuning fork. And it's just whether you're aware of it or not, we're constantly manifesting. So whatever messages you're sending out, that's the information that you're getting back. The universe is responding to that. So if you're not seeing what it is that you want outside of you, your hopes, wishes, and dreams, your desires, got to make those changes, go in and say, okay, what part of me, what are these old programs? What are these old thought patterns? Where am I, self-sabotaging right now? Like literally, what is it that is standing in the way of me creating the life that I truly want and deserve? So it's going in and reprogramming these aspects and looking at what is the message, what is coming up, what is still out here, what do we got to bring back in, go through all these different, aspects and start to make sense of things again. And as I welcome that part of me back in, um, over the weekend, and I always say that it's like you gotta, when you call something back in, it's almost like you gotta go through this integration, let the dust settle, and then there's that part, or those parts of you hold so much of your intuition and your gifts and the keys that unlock the doors to so many things, that you're asking about, that know the way, that have the answers. And um, so, with that said, there is something new that I'm going to be, announcing, and it's going to be. This is actually a very first time for me. It's something that literally came to the forefront today. So I'm going to be starting what's called uh, Self Love Academy. And that's going to be very similar to my quantum life coaching, but it's going to be really, really tailored to all about self love and working through, these different walls, these different barriers, these different thoughts, getting through working through these different things that are standing in your way and coming home to you. So not everyone resonates with, the terminology of life coaching. I get it. But the words that are coming through loud and clear, where I am being guided at this time, is to create what's called the Self Love Academy. I will be sending that information out this week, as far as how many weeks are involved and working one-on-one with me. All of my services are done remotely, the pricing structure and everything, and really diving deep. So if you're at that point in your life where things just aren't moving, you feel stuck, and if you're having a hard time looking at yourself in the mirror, like truly having a heart to heart with yourself, it's time. It is truly time. And I have a very, very, um, huge understanding of why I went through different things. And when, my soul chose to be a female in this lifetime, my soul chose this body, my soul chose these experiences, my soul chose this environment, my soul chose, the X, the Y, the Z, as far as what was going to help me to move forward and to make changes and to be able to help others. So, got to go in deep, got to start looking at, what's going on in here. And I will tell you that you will start noticing those changes outside of you. So, that information for the Self Love Academy will be announced this week. And um, gosh, what else am I being guided to share right now? So, one of the ascended masters is coming through right now. So, Jesus is coming through. I see him, I feel his energy. It's just really that sacred heart of Jesus. This is We're leading up to, Easter season. This is all about the Christ consciousness. This is all about love and being able to say to yourself, I love you to the moon and back, and creating that beautiful life for your inner child, for your little girl or your little boy, and standing true. With you, I shared some messages that that came through today as well on my other Facebook page called Psychic Medium Ann Miller French. If you haven't had an opportunity to check that out or follow it, I share different messages that come through from different souls. And today's messages that came through were from Calamity Jane, and holy cow, she had quite the message. So if you haven't had an opportunity to read that yet, check it out. And if you have any questions regarding life coaching, scheduling a reading, some energy healing, or you want to learn more about the Self Love Academy, like I said, that information is going to be posted this week. My website is reikiangelichands.com. That's reikiangelikhands.com. That link is available in the description for today's live. If you find that there's someone out there that that could really benefit from today's message, from this information, if anyone is, whether you're going through something or a loved one is going through something, body image issues, working through eating disorders, working through addictions, working through self-love journey. If you want to learn some more self-care techniques, you want to learn some amazing biohacking techniques, how to reprogram your subconscious mind, start creating the life that you truly do desire, working through this ascension journey, working through your awakening. You really want to get that forward momentum instead of feeling like you're taking 10 steps forward, 10 steps back. Tune in, check it out, reach out. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out. A lot of different ways to stay connected with me. All my information is also on my contact page. So, love to hear from you. Let me know if this resonates with you. And if you have any questions, you're also welcome to add them in the comments of today's live. Take care. Thank you.